Hello everybody, today we are going to make my chicken bone broth. First thing we are going to do is salt and pepper, some chicken carcasses. I know it looks gross, but it really does taste good and it's got a lot of really nice health benefits. On here we have the wings, the bones from 2 chickens that I cut down the other day, some drumsticks, some winglets, and some chicken feet, because we want to have it really nice and jello-y like at the end. We are going to bake these in the oven at 350 until they're golden brown, and while those are baking, start working on the vegetables that will be going in this. We're going to roast these in the oven as well. It just adds a deeper depth of flavor to the end product. So what we're doing is we're cutting up some carrots, and you don't have to be picky here. A rough chop is all you need to do. We're throwing everything on a baking sheet. Smash your garlic cloves because you want them to be opened up so they can get some flavor. We're going to add some leeks as well. Like I said, rough chop is fine. It's just all going to roast in the oven together, and in the end it'll all come out of the broth anyway. So you're going to chop some celery. My husband is not a fan of celery, but it's fine once it's cooked in the broth. Make sure you wash your veggies before you go chopping them up. We're going to throw on some onions and some mushrooms. We are not going to roast any of the herbs that we are going to use. With your onions, I like to cut the root off just because I don't want to chance any dirt being caught up in there and that getting into my broth. You can leave the skins on if there's any spots on the skin that make it look funny. I would remove it, but in general, you can leave it on. We're going to cut these up, pop them on that pan. We're going to throw our mushrooms on there. You're just going to cut your mushrooms in quarters and throw them on the pan. I like to roast my bones and roast my veggies because I like the deep color, the depth of flavor that it adds to it. You don't have to do that. In fact, if you want the light golden color, you are not going to want to roast anything. You're going to want to put it straight in the pot. But me, I like that extra layer of flavor that it gives me. Once you have this done, you're going to salt and pepper it. You're going to add some oil to it. Now you can use olive oil. Since this does not want to open for me and I do need to reseal it, so I can't stab the knife through the top, I'm going to take a butter knife, pop it under, give it a little twist in a couple spots. And then I should be, there we go, able to get it loose. I'm going to add chicken fat to mine instead of oil because it'll just, like I said, add more layers to the flavor. If you do not want to add chicken fat, I do believe it's also called schmaltz, to your pan, you could drizzle it with olive oil or you could drizzle it with vegetable oil, avocado oil, oil of your choice. I just want to make it even more chickeny. Okay, once that's done, we're going to place this in the oven and we're going to roast everything. And once everything's roasted, I'll be back to show you the next step. Well, my oven decided to bite the bullet in the middle of baking, so my vegetables did not get as dark as I want them to, but it's okay. They're still going to be nice and nutrients for our, they're still going to add nutrients to our broth. Ugh. So we're just going to scrape that on there. Make sure you get all the goodness off at the bottom of the pan. We're going to add our chicken. Make sure you get all of that yumminess off the bottom of this pan. Never waste a fond, never waste flavor. You want to take all your chicken and put it in your pot. Now, many, many moons ago, my stove had died on me when we lived in Alabama, and it was taking the warranty company forever to fix it, and my friend had bought me a countertop roaster. And that is when I learned you can do your bone broth in a countertop roaster if you don't want to run your gas stove all day. So that is how I always do my bone broth, in one of these. It works. It gives you amazing broth. And you don't have to worry about children running around with a stove turned on all day. So we have all our meat in here, all our veggies in here, all of the juices off the bottom of the baking sheets are in here. We're just going to fill this up with water, and we're going to add our apple cider vinegar to it. This is going to take me a bit, so I'll be right back. All of the chicken is in the pot and all the veggies are in here. So now we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. This is going to help pull some of the vitamins out of the bones as this cooks over the next couple hours. I know it looks like there's a lot in here, but this water will cook down some. And in the end, we want to have a nice jello-y kind of consistency to our broth once it cools, because that tells us that we got all the nutrients that we want for their health benefits. I'm going to turn this on to 350 on your stove. You would turn it to medium, maybe medium high. You don't want it to boil, but you want it to have bubbles. And I'm going to let it cook for the next 4 to 6 hours. I will be coming back hourly to make sure there's no scum on the surface. If there is, I will remove that. And at the end of the 4 to 6 hours, we will strain this and move on to our next step. Our stock has been cooking for 5.5 hours now. So we're going to open it up, give it a quick stir. We've been removing any scum that came on top. We are now going to add our herbs. You don't want to add your herbs at the very beginning because you don't want them to overcook and become funky in there. You don't want them to add a bad flavor to your broth. So put them in a half an hour before you're finished. We're gonna stir this up, close the lid, and then we'll be back in 30 minutes. Our 30 minutes for the herbs is up, so we're going to remove our lid and take it directly to the sink. What I like to do is just use a big spider to take out all the bones and used up veggies. And then I sit them aside in a bowl. I have removed all of the bigger chunks of chicken and the veggies. They're in a bowl behind me, and eventually they will sit on a strainer so that any juices that are in them will go into here as well. I like to double strain mine. So first I put it through this big strainer that is lined with cheesecloth, because it's going to get rid of any of these impurities that are in here, or little pieces of meat that are left, little pieces of herbs that are left. It's not impurities in anything nasty. It's all edible. It's all healthy. It's all good for you. We've got it all strained, and this pot is full. So what we're going to do is remove that. We're going to push this to the side. I'm going to do the second straining. Once again, it's going through cheesecloth and a fine mesh strainer while it goes into my containers. I like to use the deli containers because I can put them in the refrigerator. I can freeze them. If I give stuff to my friends and they forget to bring back the container, I'm not as butthurt as I would be if it was one of my ball jars. You can do this in a ball jar as well. If you wanted to can this and put it on your shelf, you would have to pressure can it because it's not acidic enough to just water bath it. I like to freeze them so that I have them available whenever I need them. In the freezer, it's good for 2 to 3 months. In the refrigerator, 5 to 7 days. We've got quite a lot of stock here. We ended up with 10 of these 4-cup deli containers full. They're going to sit in the refrigerator with their lids off so they can cool, and a small fat cap will seal over top of them. Make sure you're writing a label to stick on them. Like this just says chicken bone broth and today's date, so that if you freeze them or keep them in the refrigerator, you'll remember when you made them. So if you happen to have any left past when you should keep them, you'll know to get rid of them. Generally, this will be gone in no time. You can use it instead of water when you're making your rice, and you can use it in chicken soup. You can make gravy with it. You could drink it by the cupful. There's a lot you could do. It's the next day, and I wanted to show you this broth. You'll see there's a little bit of fat on top. Because it's cold, you can just simply scrape it off and throw it in another bowl. This way you're not fighting with it while it's warm. Just wait till it cools off and then do it. I don't know if you can quite see how jello-y that is, but that's the consistency you want. You want it to be nice and jiggly. That means it's full of all the good stuff for you. Let's get Tommy in here to try this.
Hey, everybody. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That is so good. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's way better than any store-bought broth you could buy.
It's like a warm hug.
That's right.
I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. As usual, the recipe will be in the description box below. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Bye-bye.